to you today from the Southern Legend Outdoors Studio, the Be a Legend podcast, brought to you from SouthernLegendOutdoors.com. And now your hosts, Kevin Bearfield, Kerry Nelson, Ken Butler, and Mark Newell. Heroes get remembered, but legends never die. It's your time now. Be a legend.
And now, part 2 of this life-changing story with James Sutton.
Well, thanks for having me. I guess just give you Kerry's painting a pretty good picture, but for those that can't see me, I'm a C5 quadriplegic, which means I can use my arms, but I can't use my wrist or my fingers. And so my fingers, I've been, 1992, I'll go ahead and tell you what happened. In 1992, I was 15 years old, and we just left, it was May 18th of 1992. We just left school, and it had been 90-something degrees that day. It was pretty hot. And it rained. Come a little quick shower right before I got out of school. Well, me and some friends jumped in a truck. It's a 88 GMC 3/4 ton single cab. And there was a bench seat. That's back when they had bench seats. There wasn't no extended cab or nothing. So there was 5 of us across this one bench seat in this truck. And we took off going home, just left school. And we just run too fast, driving 65 mile an hour, went around a curve. The way some of them curves are, I'm sure y'all got them out in Mississippi here too. It's on a hill and it's flat. It's not a banked curve or anything. It's just a flat curve on a hill. And the driver's a close friend of mine. We slid off the road, lost control, and just hit an oak tree. It's about a big old red oak tree, about 4 foot across. And went through that oak, bounced off that tree, went through and hit 2 other trees, and big old creek bank, and the truck was demolished. The people load the truck up, they load all up by hand. I mean, the bed was knocked off, the cab was knocked off the frame. It was just, the rear axle was torn from the truck, jumped out there in the field, front tire, the whole thing was like a bomb went off inside the truck. Well, I was thrown out of the truck at the time, at some point in there. I went through a barbed wire fence flying 65 mile an hour. And so I went through the barbed wire fence first, which was covered in briars, and I was wrapped up in barbed wire and briars from head to toe. And broke my neck. Well, when I come to rest, I was laying wrapped up in barbed wire and briars, laying in a fire ant bed with a broke neck, facing up. And the truck, apparently I was thrown out before the truck got to all that. And anyway, the truck knocked down another tree. So I went through a barbed wire fence, wrapped up in barbed wire and briars, laying in a fire bed, and had a tree knocked down on top of me too. So I broke my C3, 4, and 5 in my neck. And I had explosion fractures. And I broke both bones of my arm, and they were sticking out of my arm. My right palm was sitting on my right elbow. And then a few broke ribs, bruised diaphragm, collapsed lung. And my face is ripped wide open. And other than that, I was doing pretty good.
Other than that.
Yeah, and that's why you gotta love James. No, that's why you'll fall in love with James, because when he tells all that, and he smirks at you like, But other than that, the day was great, But dude, before you leave that, 3 in the truck were killed.
Yeah, my best friend, who he and I we were born 4 months apart. I was born in August, he was born in December. We grew up across the road from each other. Our houses were 200 yards apart. We've been friends since we were in diapers. He's like my brother. I've got a younger brother, he's 18 months younger than me, and and this other boy Cody, he was just my brother, and the other boy that was driving the truck, he was me and him were real close, he's a good friend, and the other person that died, it was the driver's girlfriend, but yeah, 3 of them died, and there's another boy in the truck, and he was just along for the ride. I mean, he just picked the wrong taxi cab, so I mean, and he got messed up, but he pretty much walked away from the wreck, but I was beat up pretty good. So,
Wow.
and I was on life support for 2 weeks, and so, but at the time of my accident, my neck had explosion fractures, and there was like 40 breaks per vertebrae, and the doctors wouldn't do surgery, so they pretty much just let me get where I could breathe on my own, sent me home, and then healed up, and a year later did surgery. But other than that, there really wasn't much they could do for me. I mean, just wasn't nothing to do. So, but I went on from that. The Lord allowed me to live, and just a lot of learning and everything, and of course, when I got to be 19, I'm still a teenager, even though I'm in a wheelchair. I was ready to move out, and I had the foolish idea that marriage was the only way you could move out of a house, and so I got married too young, and then I got divorced about 3 years later, and then after that, I thought marriage was evil and women were even more evil, and so, I just I decided to stay single for about 8 years. Well, in that period there, Jerry Jackson, who, like I say, a friend of mine since I was 5 years old, he's 2 years older than me. He had been moved back from North Carolina military, and me and him got met up. I didn't know he'd been back in town anyway. He started coming by the house, and after a few months, me and him just talking and catching up on old times and everything. He just talking about the Lord and going to church, and at the time I wasn't saved, and so I was just living like the devil. I wasn't. I just wasn't living for the Lord. I wasn't living any kind of good lifestyle, but just working all the time and partying. But anyway, Jerry invited me to go to church on Easter, and said they having friends, and I had to invite 2 friends to Sunday school. He asked me, he said, "Would you be interested?" I said, "I should be waiting on you to ask. I wasn't going to invite myself." And I've been feeling that draw, the Holy Spirit just drawing me. And that was in April, and then in June, the church had a revival, and I got saved under Brother Kenny Digby.
How about
Wow.
that? Mississippi preacher.
How about that?
Yeah.
Saved on Thursday.
Now that's
night.
something I didn't know.
No.
I mean, you told me when you got saved, but I didn't realize that.
Yeah, Brother Kenny Digby was teaching revival or preaching revival, and I got saved on Thursday night.
How about that?
And so, and from that point on, I'm pretty much all or nothing on stuff. I'm like a light switch, and that has good qualities, but also has bad qualities. Because when I get on something, I can't think about anything else. Well, I got on the Lord. I couldn't think about nothing else. And so, Jerry had bought me a Bible for my birthday, which will be like a month or so later. And man, I just started reading that Bible. I couldn't put it down. Well, my brother worked for me, and I had like 4 people working for me. My brother was working for me, my sister worked for me, and so wasn't long after I got saved, when we'd be going down the road, we'd take my brother, we'd baling hay, and we'd take him and drop him at the field, and my sister would drive me around because she has a permit. She's 15 years old, and so she would drive me everywhere I need to go, getting fuel and parts, and run all errands, and going and seeing customers, picking up checks, and all that stuff. Well, and that one morning, I got him in there, and I was preaching. I didn't know what I was doing. I guess I was preaching because I had them both in there, and they couldn't get out because, we're taking one to the job, and the other one, she's going to be with me all day. So, I had a captive audience, and I was giving them the word, talking about the Lord. And that day, when we dropped my brother off the field so he could start baling hay, he got in the tractor, and he got saved.
How about that?
And so, and a few months later, my sister, she got saved.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so.
And she's
yeah,
now a pastor's wife.
She is now a pastor's wife
Yes, sir.
at that same church.
Yeah, Sand Springs.
So, yeah, it's and then so and from that point on, I just like I said, I went for several more years just being single, and I just wanted to love the Lord, and I just wanted to know as much as I could, and so we worked, and the Lord just blessed my business, and I learned all kinds of things about God, and I'm still learning plenty more, but I guess I was about 29 years old, and I started feeling that I need to start looking for a wife, and so I got serious and started praying, and I went to altar 3 times a week, every week when every Sunday morning, Sunday night, and Wednesday night, and I fasted every Monday for 6, 8, 9 months, and I did that. So I went to altar 3 times a week for a year. Fasted every Monday for 9 months. And the Lord blessed me with my wife, Shonda, who's, I can't never speak enough good about her. And so,
Yeah.
Wow.
Just prayed for her and I remember praying a lot of times that, Lord, and protect her when I'm not around. Because I don't until I know her. And then if she has boys or if she has kids, protect those kids as well. And and then when we met, it was I just knew. And of course, she we met online, and so she of course when she went after our first date that first night, she went home and women talk. Her best friend's calling her, wanting to know how it went and all this stuff. And I told her she knew before she ever showed up the house I was in a wheelchair. I made it clear to her, and so she my wife's telling me, she said, I was talking to my friend, and she asked me how it all went. I told her, I said, I think I'm gonna marry him. I said, you thought you was gonna marry me? She goes, well, no, I didn't know that. I said, yeah, you was already head over heels. You just hoping. So she, I give her a hard time about that all the time. But
And y'all been married
we've been married 12 years now.
12 years, yeah.
And so, yeah, I've been in a wheelchair. When we got married in 07. I've been in a wheelchair 15 years.
Yeah.
And so, she knew what she was getting into, and she just didn't know how deep the water was.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
Wow.
that's thank you for sharing that, because you never know who's listening,
That's right.
and
well, like people say all the time, well, you get lemons, make lemonade.
Yeah.
Well, why stop at lemonade? I mean, I say you get hand lemons, and make lemonade. Then take the seeds, sprout the seeds, plant an orchard, and sell lemons. I mean, why stop with a lemonade?
why
stand?
stop it? Well, that's you, I guarantee you.
So
Yeah.
That's a blessing. I mean, we're without excuse
Yeah.
when we see a man like this and serving the Lord, and testimony you've given it inspires me. I appreciate that and sharing that.
I mean, that's
Been
all
a
God.
blessing. Yes, sir.
So for all of our listeners, and you're saved, all right, you're going to heaven, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, you're gonna get to heaven one day. You're gonna be giving out, rewards and all that, and you'll be like, man, why the line ain't moving? Why have we been here so long? What is going on? Just step out and look up there. There's gonna be Shonda and her 2 boys standing there. I don't know where they're going. I don't know how the Lord's gonna get this done. And because what goes on behind the scenes in a life like James, when they come out, I've been in your house now. They got sliding doors, those inset doors. What do you call them?
Pocket doors.
Pocket doors. And I've been sitting there waiting on breakfast. I've been sitting there even cooking breakfast. And those doors will slide open, and here they come. And it didn't just happen.
Right.
There's a lot that went on.
Sure.
And I think that's what, with By His Grace Outdoors and taking disabled wheelchairs, we took a double amputee this year, Nick, and You look at those caretakers, and that's a terminology that, the government gives our position, but that's a great terminology.
Yeah.
Because it's care.
Yeah.
And it's given, and I'm sure there's people abused. I'm sure there's people like James that the wrong person is taking care of. But just to see, you just have to be around them to see. You just get the joy of the Lord.
Yeah.
It's not that they don't have issues, not that they don't have problems, but they are making lemonade, planting the seeds, growing the orchard.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing.
That's right.
They go and do, and they live and serve, and they make no excuses.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you
Right.
said is right. We can all learn from this.
That's right.
And it's not a man's legs, it's not a man's arms, it's a man's heart.
Yeah.
And that heart's beating in James Sutton,
right.
that's for sure.
His shirt right now says American Fighter.
Yeah. Yeah. He
Very fitting.
but now at any given time, James could have a shirt that says, "What you looking at? You want something?" I mean, James is that way. So don't you
That
never,
might be literal, huh?
yeah,
That's what you're
American
saying.
Fighter, yeah.
That could be literal.
But my other shirt says throat punch donor too, so I mean,
That is true. Throat punch donor. Yeah. Mm.
Well, and he's actually been, and we were kind of going to wrap the podcast up with you saying a little bit about By His Grace Outdoors, but James has been a recipient of what you do here and has benefited from that, and actually got a little trophy in the mix. It wasn't just a hunt. It was a hunt that ended with a reward, and
Amazing. Well, we have shooting houses that are big enough for wheeled, electric chairs. I call that electric chair, but someone in a manual chair, you can get them in a wheelchair in a shooting house a little bit different, because you can back them up and pull them up in one,
Sure.
But a chair like James's, they're so heavy, and you got to have ramps and you got to be able to get him in, and then he's got to have room to. You probably listened to this podcast and heard James's chair moving. James has to move his chair and keep his chair moving, so he just he's got to have the room. Well, we wanted to take him turkey hunting. He never killed turkey, and Brother Josh Sparks had a food plot where they done killed several turkeys out of it, but he still had 3 coming in. And so what we did was we took a big blind, took it down there, put some plywood down for a floor, put the blind up. Then James comes in. We put him on a 4-wheeler trailer. He drives up on this 4-wheeler trailer. We hooked the 4-wheeler trailer to Brother Josh Sparks' electric Polaris Ranger. Mm-hmm. Left an hour earlier than normal. And eased down through the logging road, got out there, set James up in one blind with a device that triggers by a person sucking on the tube. James cannot use his hands, so we run the tube to his mouth. And so when he sucks on the tube, Opie Thomas and Hope Outdoors let us borrow their device. It's like a tripod for a gun with a lever that when he sucks, it pulls the trigger, just like a finger. So Brother Josh is in there with him operating the gun. James is sitting beside him. I put another blind up, and I get in it with all my camera gear. So I'm filming. At daylight, turkeys are gobbling. The 3 turkeys were gobbling, and I mean would not quit gobbling. So I'm thinking, it's going to be the easiest hunt in the world. Well, it's near 10:30 before they come. We had deer come out. We had hen come out. We had all kind of action in the field.
Yeah.
And I thought I caught something out of the right side of my blind, and they were coming out of the woods about probably, 75 yards off from me. And, buddy, when they come out, we had decoys out, And when they come out, 2 of them come right out there, and the one that James shot is about a 4.5-year-old double beard turkey.
Really? Wow.
Which he's getting mounted. So that's great. So here's the thing. Brother Josh and his son had already killed turkeys down there. They let these turkeys, they could have killed them.
Yeah.
But they saved them so James could come.
Wow. That's
so
awesome,
when he
man.
killed his turkey, one gobbler left. And the other one come out. You know how they'll do sometimes? They'll fight each other. Yeah. Came out there. So Brother Josh got to double up. We got both of them. Oh, that is our October video on our video pod. So anyway, we
awesome.
we can't. You want to see James Sutton's turkey hunt? Yeah. So it's amazing.
Well, tell us a little bit too. I know I've worked with you some on this, but you've got some new things coming out with By His Grace Outdoors and a release this weekend.
Tomorrow.
So, yeah.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow. So we want to give a little pub on all of that. Make sure our listeners know and follow that. And we're partnering together, and we'll keep you updated each week. We do the podcast as to, some things that'll be coming out. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, last year we did our first DVD, and with the hunting ministry, it's been it started out. This is our 20th season.
Yeah,
and it started out just taking family, my kids, and maybe a church member's kids.
Yeah.
So we didn't have much property. We didn't have any of our own. So we just our father-in-law, mine and your father-in-law, Bill, allowed me to hunt down there. Ken, who's co-host of the show, he allowed me to bring some people. And so I'm saying all that. I'm going back there because the expenses was pretty low when you first started because somebody else was paying the expenses. You know? And so as I began to lease land and as I began to grow the ministry, as we bring in, we'll bring in, when I say this, people think, well, you just saying this, but we'll bring in possibly several hundred people.
Yeah.
Now, not all of them are hunters. When we have our handicap hunt, families will come in and, we liable to feed 40 people in one night.
Right.
So with that being said, the expenses of the ministry have jumped. We have so many leases and so much, overhead.
Yeah.
So I decided last year to put a DVD out to help with the expenses. And so we put 9 hunts on there. And the whole time, my son, Eli, and my brother-in-law, who y'all are listening to, Kevin, they're like, this thing, if you go digital, this thing, go, computer, internet, and put it out there on a website, on a podcast, something, and let people, because, DVDs, and you said it, you kept telling me, they're going to be obsolete. They're going to be around in some markets, but for mainstream media, you're going to have to get with the times.
Right.
And Eli really pushed that. He's like, Daddy, my age group, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, they're not watching DVDs no more. They're watching their phone. So with the help of you and Eli, I decided to bite the bullet, and we have By His Grace Outdoors website.
Yep.
And you'll be able to, our DVD was $20 for a DVD for 9 hunts. We're doing $25 a year. You'll be able to go out and subscribe and get all of our videos right there on your computer, your iPad, or your phone. A bonus to that is we've already uploaded last year's DVD, so if you didn't get it, or if you did get it, you'll be able to watch your hunts that you like right there on your phone. And so for $25 a year, it's an investment for the ministry. We need, of course, as many as we can get, and that helps us pay for what lands we do got. We're planting right now. Yeah. Every time you go by and buy seed, fertilize, and all that, you're dropping $500-600.
Sure.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah, it costs a lot of money.
Building shooting houses.
Yeah.
Feeding people when they get here. So we don't pocket money. We're not living, high on the hog off the ministry.
Right.
So, with that being said, tomorrow night we'll launch it. Tell you how you can go to Podbean, subscribe. You can do that from the website, and we are in the process right now. It'll be some time before it's released, but we're going to have our own app.
Yeah.
That's being worked on, and so we're just excited about it. It's new to me, but I feel like it's the right timing and it's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And everybody, I can pull all of my hunts up right here on my phone, and instead of saying, "Hey, I got a DVD in the truck, you need to see it sometime," I mean, you can open your phone up and show your buddy a hunt,
Yeah.
and so that's what's neat about it.
Yeah, I think it's awesome, and I cheer you on. I think you're ahead of the time, even with a lot of other similar ministries and what you're doing here. Because I can tell you, I've been able to work with Kerry through this process, and I mean, he's not doing anything second rate. It's very high end, good quality video. The podcast will be through Podbean. Go ahead and mention that.
Right,
Yes,
Podbean.
So they know it's on Podbean.
Yep.
You can look it up. By His Grace Outdoors. That's the same podcast that we do this podcast on.
Right.
The Southern Legends Be a Legend podcast. But Kerry's will be a videocast, what we would call a videocast. So all of his will be video, and I think you'll be pleased with the quality of it. And again, like you said, you can watch it at any time on your phone. You can also watch it on your computer, and today with smart TVs, you can still watch it just like you would watch a DVD. You
Sure.
can pull it up on your smart TV and watch it on your 75 or 65 inch TV if you want to. So I think it's awesome what
it's
you're
new,
doing.
and another thing, Kevin, that I was sold on, that y'all convinced me of, and I keep saying y'all, not throwing off. I'm appreciative that y'all talked me into this, because whereas if I put a DVD out next year, you got to wait till that DVD comes out to see all the hunts at one time. Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to put hunts on every month.
Yeah, as they happen.
As they're happening, we're going to be able to do live. When I say live stuff, like we've been filming in the field. We just got back from our Kentucky lease.
Right.
We filmed the whole time we were up there, putting out cameras, planting food plots, all that stuff. Well, guys that like to hunt, they'll watch a food plot planting just as much as they will a deer kill. That's just because we like it.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to watch stuff. It's not like you're going to watch a DVD and it's over.
Right.
You'll get stuff each month. And one neat thing that I'm going to do each month is I'm going to have an interview a month.
Yeah.
I'm going to interview somebody from some facet of the hunting. And, of course, like Brother Jody Harrison builds turkey calls.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. I've been in his shop. I flew to North Carolina, shot some video of him in his shop.
Yeah.
And so we're going to have all kind of neat things. I promise you, for $25, James's hunt is worth $25.
Yeah.
But you're going to get something every month.
Yeah. Well, and I just want to say too, even if you don't watch the videos, if you couldn't care less about it, it's worth you going out there and spending $25 just to help the ministry.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because when you do that, you're helping someone like James, who otherwise may or may not have. I mean, James may have that ability and opportunity.
Well, and he hasn't.
But there,
as far as turkey hunting.
Yeah.
And we ad-libbed a lot of it because we hadn't done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the key about the people that help us in this ministry is I say, hey, I got a guy from Texas and he can't shoot a gun. And so we get the ball rolling and I call Opie and he's like, brother, I got a device. All you got to do is learn how to operate it.
Yeah.
We set it up the night before, tried to figure out what was going on, took it in the next. I guess my thing is our ministry is where it started to where it is now. There's no telling where it can go.
That's right.
And that's the neat thing about it. Matter of fact, James he's ready to get to slam. He's done got one turkey. He's ready to travel the world.
Yeah.
So,
Well, again, contribute to this. Go out, because I can tell you, he's not going to mention it, but there are expenses that go along beyond his food plots. But just to have the capability to do this technology, there are ongoing expenses to be able to do that. And so, I mean, that's such a small amount to ask and to pay to have a part in a ministry and what y'all are doing. I know there are a lot of others that do similar ministries, but I know yours, and I know your heart, and I know what you're trying to do, and you're not here to try to make a penny.
no,
Not a penny.
Matter of fact,
anybody who thinks that, they don't know,
right, they don't know.
because I'm sure you go in the hole. There's not any fluff out there laying around at the end of the year.
No.
So, and I can tell you this: if it took off like crazy, and let's just say the money was coming in like crazy, I know you would take it and reinvest every bit of back into the ministry.
That's the whole purpose
to try to figure out ways to bring more people and give more people opportunities to do what you're trying to do here. So it is more than just a contribution and investment. And I don't know if there's an adequate word to even describe what you're doing here, but it is a very selfless, and it is a very it's a very humbling thing. And it's also something that takes a lot of your personal time that you don't get paid for. And I'm saying this because I know he's not going to say it, but you've got to travel to how many countries in the next 7 months?
Yeah, 4.
4. And so he's busy. He's got other ministry. He's got a personal ministry, preaching every week, singing. So it takes a lot of time and dedication to do what he's doing. So I really admonish our listeners to go out there and to subscribe to this and to be a part of this ministry. It's very, very worthy and well worth your time, and you'll get a blessing from it. There is a return. If you want a return, you'll get one.
Yeah. And they can go, of course, this will be released pretty close to the the announcement, but Podbean, where they're listening to this, they'll look up By His Grace Outdoors, and just subscribe to the premium. They can go ahead, because all 9 of the hunts from the DVD are out there. They can go ahead right now and watch them.
Yeah.
And the new content will begin in October. And
same thing we want to do with this podcast. Go out and subscribe to it. And then once he does release a video, it will notify you.
Right.
It'll let you know, there's been a new video cast released by His Grace Outdoors, and give you that opportunity to go out there and watch it. So, well, thanks for sharing that with us tonight.
Well, thank you.
And each week when we do this, we'll expect an update. We'll just have a little segment here for you to let our listeners know maybe what's coming up, and to be on the lookout for, this video, this hunt. So, anyway, thanks, guys. Appreciate again James joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's been a great evening. Good fellowship with you guys.
Wait a minute. Gig 'em and go Rebels.
That's right.
There you go. All right.
We'll see what happens here in just a few hours.
Yeah. Yeah, it won't be long.
I know. All right, guys. Well, thank you.
All right.
We'll talk to you next week.
Heroes get remembered, but legends never die. It's your time now. Be a legend.